Right, you lot. Let's talk the mighty Villa against the Hammers in the Premier League with an interesting Premier League result that is happening as I record this. So, as you can tell from the title, Spurs are currently 3-0 down in the 90th minute against Fulham, which means that this game against West Ham, the stakes have just been raised, and then raised again if we want to keep the pressure on and not allow Spurs to overtake us when they play their game in hand. So that is a massive thing. Obviously, this game's going to be away, so we're going to be at the Olympic Stadium in London against West Ham, who have just come off of a really good 5-0 win against Freiburg, which we'll get into a little bit later. But let's get into my team. Villa have obviously just come off of that good 4-0 win against Ajax as well, so both teams progressing well in Europe. We're trying to lift the trophy that they lifted last season, but as you can see on the screen next to me right about now, we have my Villa team taking into consideration the following things. I think Watkins is going to be back and fit. I think we've pretty much confirmed that Diego Carlos isn't fit, otherwise he would have been in my starting lineup. I think he picked up a bit of a hamstring injury in that game against Ajax. And I do, unfortunately, have to take into consideration that John McGinn is red carded and suspended for 3 games for his just stupid tackle in the Tottenham game. So with that being said, we have Martinez in goal, obviously. Luca Digne replaces Moreno for me. We have the luxury of being able to rotate between 2 quality left-backs. Take that option up, don't be silly. Pau Torres and Konsa get the nod at centre-back for me, with Matty Cash being allowed to continue his right-back role. That is purely because I think Emery likes it as well, the left-footed and right-footed centre-back. It just makes more sense than having 2 left-footers. But equally, that could be Pau Torres and Longley in the middle, and then Ezri Konsa playing right-back. Morgan Rogers keeps his place on the left. I haven't had any news on Jacob Ramsey, but it doesn't look like he'll be back in time. And then Timo Rogbottom gets the nod for me. Now McGinn has been suspended. I think it's his time to step up in that holding mid spot. I liked him in his cameo against Ajax a few days ago. I thought he actually looked really good. And I'd happily have him start in this game and seeing where we can go with that young man. And then obviously Douglas Luiz. He's going to start every game. And then the other one that should be starting every game is Leon Bailey on the right-hand side and not up front. And then up front we have Ollie Watkins. It was just a cut. It looked like a nasty cut, to be fair, but it was just a cut to his leg that got him subbed off against Ajax after he scored that great header. Don't think it's going to be anything that's going to impact him going forward, and I assume he will be right back and one of the first names on the team sheet going into this game tomorrow. And then obviously Moussa Diaby is getting the nod for me over Tielemans, purely because he played such a good game against Ajax. I think his confidence starting to flow back now, and him and Bailey on the right side getting that little bit of Bayer Leverkusen connection back up and running. I actually thought they looked really good. They were really passing the ball well. Their movement, they understand each other, and I think that we need to get at West Ham. They do have a slightly leaky defence. They're fantastic going forward, so let's just outscore them effectively, is my plan. What do you guys think of the starting lineup? Is there anything that you would change? Leave a comment down below. But let's look at West Ham's last lineup, how both teams are faring going into this game, and of course the big question, what do I think is going to happen? Oh, it's a big game. So this was West Ham's last starting lineup in that 5-0 win that I said about in the Europa League against Freiburg, and for that 5-0 win they've only gone and drawn Leverkusen, and that's going to be an absolute corker of a game. But you look at the team, Fabianski in goal. I would assume that Areola would be starting unless he's injured against Villa tomorrow. Cresswell left back, Zuma and Mavropanos in the middle with Corfau on right back duty. Good solid back line, but they have been susceptible to leaking goals, as you will see when we get in to their recent Premier League results very shortly. Souček and Alvarez at CDM, 2 very good players. I like Alvarez a lot. I think he was a really clever signing from Ajax, actually, I think it was. And then Kudus, another sharp signing from Ajax, who has been really good this season on the left. Bowen, who I think has probably been West Ham's player of the season on the right. And then Lucas Paqueta, a player that we know is fan-blooditastic in that number 10 role. And then Michail Antonio up front. I can't believe he's still starting for West Ham, to be fair. Like I've said it, if I've said it once, I've said it 10,000 times. Ollie Watkins has a bad first touch, but Antonio makes Ollie Watkins' first touch look like Zinedine Zidane. It's crazy. I've never known such a player who probably... I want like a list of how many touches players have taken with their knees and shin pads. Michail Antonio is definitely top of that list. And I know now I've said all of this, he'll score like a hat-trick against us or something. But he's probably one of the least players, I think, to be worried about in that team. It would have been nice to have Carlos to deal with his physicality. And I think if Carlos is fit, he probably should get the nod. But nonetheless, a great team. Again, I think West Ham fans are a bit like Villa fans. If you would have said to them a couple of seasons ago that all of this success would be coming their way, they probably would have been like, okay, mate. If you would have said there would have players like Lucas Paqueta, Kudus, Jarrod Bowen, how well he's playing at the moment, they would have probably just laughed. But hey, here we are, guys. Let's let the Claret and Blue enjoy a bit of a rise, shall we? But let's get into their last results. So we go straight into West Ham's. As you can see, they were at the hands of a 6-0 thumping by Arsenal. And then, back-to-back 2-0 loss against Nottingham Forest. They bounced back with a good 4-2 win and then 3-1 win over Everton and Brentford, respectfully. And then their last result was a good result in the sense of they were 2-0 down against Burnley and they fought back to make it 2-2. Obviously, their last result was that 5-0 win against Freiburg, which is it's a good result. We look at Villa's last results here. Obviously, that 2-1 loss to United starts us off, but that will be off the screen soon. The one at the top will stay there for a while, though. But then we went 3 games on the trot, beating Fulham 2-1, Nottingham Forest 4-2, and Luton 3-2 before that bitterly disappointing loss where we just collapsed against Tottenham and lost 4-0 last week. However, Fulham are always there to do Villa a favour, aren't they? Like, they got rid of Tony Zia effectively by beating us in the playoffs. And here they are again. They've just beaten Tottenham 3-0 the last time I checked, so I assume that's the final score. So it gives us a chance. And why is it so important now that Fulham have beaten Tottenham and we're playing West Ham, who are currently sitting 7th? Let's look at the Premier League table, and as you can see, as it stands at the moment, us and Tottenham have played the same amount of games, and we still have that two goal. I think it might be 2-goal actually. I don't know if this was up for refresh when it was 2 or 3-0, but 2-point advantage over Tottenham. A win over West Ham tomorrow would put us back to a 5-point cushion, which means even if they win their game in hand, it would only bring them within 2 points of Villa. When I think now, especially after the Tottenham result, it's so important that whenever Tottenham drop points, we better that result now. Even if it's a draw against West Ham, we need to better that result. All we need to do is better their results and we're guaranteed to finish top 4. Simple as that, right? Probably not. If I squeal myself over here, what do I think is going to happen in this game? Obviously, earlier on in the season, we beat West Ham 3-1 at Villa Park. Ollie Watkins scoring an absolute corker of a goal. And West Ham are, I think, a bit like Villa, have blown hot and cold this season. They've had good stretches, bad stretches. I think probably a little bit more inconsistent than Villa in the whole season. But again, they're still in, the quarterfinals of the Europa League, so the competition above Villa. They're still challenging. As I'm looking here, 10 points behind Tottenham, still only 4 points behind Manchester United. There's every chance they finish in the top 6 this season, given how Manchester United have been playing. And they're always a good team. They're always going to give you a good game, aren't they? David Moyes has drilled them so well. They're a team I like. And it's a game that I am looking forward to. 2 o'clock kickoff on a Sunday. For some reason, I can't see that it's on TV, which is weird. But I'll try and keep as up to date as I can. And what do I think is going to happen? Look, we're away. We're at the Olympic Stadium. West Ham are a good team. There's no denying that. But I think Emery's going to be drilling those boys. We've just gone and beaten Ajax 4-0, but we're still coming off of a 4-0 loss in the Premier League, and we need to put things right, especially now Tottenham have dropped all 3 points to Fulham. This is an opportunity to lay the marker down and let Tottenham know you've won your little FA Cup, World Cup final where you've all turned up. Now we're about to show you why consistency is why you get top 4, and I think that's what is going to be the message flowing through this team. We're a team full of confidence. I'll be honest, I'm excited about John Duran being back. If you've seen my Ajax review, you'll know I'm excited about Mr. Duran being back, and I could see him coming on in this game and running a little bit riot against that West Ham defence. And I am surprisingly confident going into this game. And, I wasn't confident going into the Tottenham game. I called that we were going to lose that game. I just had a feeling. But my gut's telling me we're going to go out and get a result and hopefully apply all the pressure back onto Tottenham, which is what you need to do at this point in the season. Less than 10 games left after this game. It's all about fine margins in the Premier League. And I think the fine margin in this game is going to be a 1-0 victory. And I'm calling, this one's a bit left field, I'm calling a Morgan Rogers first goal for Aston Villa. And I'm calling a 1-0 victory. I'm calling a clean sheet. And I'm calling John Duran to come on and get a yellow card. It's like the easiest prediction. Oh, blimey. It's like the easiest prediction ever to give, isn't it? What do you guys think? Leave your comments down below. If you are enjoying the Villa-related content, leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more going forward and Premier League general content. I'll see you guys soon. Be nice to everyone. Up the Villa. Let's go and put a nail in the hammers. Someone help me out.